All right, wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Who is this? Andre.
What's going
What are
on,
you doing
Ryan?
here? What are you doing here? Where's Josh?
I have no idea. Skipping out on us today.
All right. So, guys, yeah, we've got Andre Aragon, a member of the Wake Up community here. He's also at the same office as me here in St. Pete, Florida. And the reason Andre's on today, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter show, maybe without Josh, a little bit of a different format. But the reason Andre's here is to talk about photography. So, Andre, you're an agent, pretty active, but also in your past, you were kind of a real estate photographer, and have you done drone and all that stuff too?
Yeah, I've pretty much done it all. I've worked in commercial and residential real estate for over 20 years. Got my start in New York. Moved down here about 10 years ago. Started a real estate photography company. Worked with a lot of the biggest agents in the area. Shot thousands of jobs and have developed systems over these years that I can share. Some tips and techniques. It's just like in real estate, the consumer doesn't fully appreciate all the time, care, and attention that goes into creating a good product and a good end product. So
Yeah.
we can start from whether it's cell phone cameras or SLRs, we can do it all.
Okay. So I know you had some stuff you were going to bring up on your screen, but let's start with the big mistakes agents make and maybe why it does make sense to pay somebody to shoot your listing.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty active on Active Rain. If you were on there from 2006 to 2012, I did something called a real estate photo coach. Did a bunch of blogging. I tried to get agents into photography, but really people just want simple solutions. They don't really want to go through the whole technical jargon and learn everything that needs to be done. So
Right.
over the years, I've kind of thought about simple solutions, and now, of course, technology has caught up to the point where you can put garbage in and get a good enough result. So that's kind of the goal right now, is to do those tricks and work with technology.
So you mean by garbage in, do you mean by just shooting with your phone and not having a fancy camera or what?
Yeah, pretty much. We're trying to get to good enough.
Yeah.
And we're kind of getting there with cell phones right now. Interior photography is always a challenge just because of the light levels. So you need some specialized techniques or maybe some specialized gear. But there's workarounds, and you've seen a lot of the photography that's out there on real estate websites. So it's a big mix. It's the 80-20 rule definitely applies here.
In your experience, what is the kind of price level cutoff where you'll see agents actually go and invest in photography versus not?
I've seen it all. I've seen the $3 million mansion that has cell phone shots and it looks like it's sinking on the Titanic. Yeah. Every shot's like this, but it takes all kinds. Really, it's not so much about the listing and presenting the listing. You're really marketing yourself overall. So that's, for me, where photography comes in, is not only showcasing the listing, but you're building your brand with photography.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Tell me a little bit more about that, and if you had anything on your screen you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, I don't want to bore people or get too technical. I'm curious who in the group is interested in photography and at what level. So maybe they can leave some comments or feel free to reach out to me afterwards. Let me see if I can share my screen here.
Yeah.
I would say,
guys, do comment down below if you have any interest in this topic, or if you just rather every time you get a listing you just pay a guy. Are you a do-it-yourselfer, or do you just have somebody you pay? Do you do Matterports? Do you do drone photography? Just let us know, and we'll just let this conversation go where Andre takes it.
And I'm just going to touch on all of those, and we can go deeper into any of that at any time.
Okay.
As far as hiring a photographer, not all professional photographers, not all real estate agents are the same. So you'd want to go ahead and interview somebody, or at least check out their work on Instagram, Facebook, things like that.
Gotcha.
I'm going to see if I can share my screen here. The most important thing for me, and we'll start at the beginning, is clean your lens.
Okay.
If you're working with a cell phone, cell phone camera, clean your lens. Maybe not with your finger or your t-shirt. You want to get it clean, but that's the very start. So there's a tool for that out there, something I've been using for a bunch of years. It's called a lens pen. And I go with this kit right here. It has the pen and the microfiber cleaning cloth. They last for, I've had mine for about 10 years. I've used them for several different cameras.
Works for the phone too?
Works with the phone, works with all kinds of optics. It's actually got like a dry powder in there. You rub it on. It takes off fingerprints and smudges, and you're good. You're good to go. A clean lens is definitely the start. And
Keep your lens clean. Polish your lens.
Keep your lens clean. That's rule number one. Wow, yeah, I see some stuff out there. If you're ever seeing things that look like they're foggy or fuzzy and it's not a foggy day, that's what's going on.
Let's have a little fun. All right, so if you watch this until, let's say, till the end of business day, around 5 o'clock today, this stream, if you comment below, just any comment on the YouTube stream, I'll pick one random commenter and ship you this lens pen kit. 34
Nice.
bucks, Andre. So we'll have
I actually I have a coupon code too that you can get 20% off on that.
All right. So any comments we will reward with entered into this little drawing. And I'm going to use Josh's credit card to do it since he's not here.
Sweet.
Okay.
Hey, pause for 1 second. That AC Tech guy is here. I'm going to step out and let him in real quick.
All right. I'll kill some time. All right, guys. So yeah, Andre warned me that he had this AC guy coming to his house. So I'll just give you a little background. Andre shot my recent listing, and he did a really good Matterport for me as well. Maybe I'll share that with you guys right here. I really liked the Matterport and actually used it to create a video tour ad. And I don't know if the ad gets credit at all, but I got 30 showings on the property in the next week after I started running the Facebook ad with the tour of the Matterport. So let me just share this with you guys. Share screen right here. And I don't get a lot of listings myself. And I don't think I've ever, that I remember, done a Matterport, but I think I'm sold on the concept. So I'm going to ask Andre a couple questions about that here. But here was the tour of that. Comment below. Let me know. How often do you use Matterport? Do you have a price range at which your listing needs to be for you to invest a little extra in getting a Matterport or professional photography done? So yeah, Paul said I would love your offer. I'm basically gonna just anybody who comments and interacts with us, I'll do like a random number generator. I'll count the number of comments. So if there's like 35 comments, it'll just be 1 to 35, and I'll just pick I'll let it give me a random number, and then the 17th comment, if it comes up, we'll get it. And I'll just reach out to you and get your address. You haven't used Matterport yet, Charla? Yeah. So Andre, I was just telling him about the Matterport you shot me right here. Going a little bit out of order with your presentation, but
no problem. Yeah,
saving
the really cool stuff for the end, but Matterport's definitely something that I use on my listings, especially we're in Florida. We have an international audience. It helps to have like that 365, 7 day a week, 24/7 open house.
Yep. So I'll let you continue with what you were talking about, and then we'll get back to Matterport.
All right, we're good on the lens cleaning. Everyone knows to start with a clean lens.
Start with a clean lens. Got it.
All right. So for photography, for interior photography, you want to have a stable platform like a tripod. A tripod is not always, the easiest thing to use. So I recommend, if you're going to do interior photography or video, that you get some sort of stabilization device. And one thing that I use is the DJI Osmo. This is the Osmo 6. It clips onto your phone. You can get stable video. You can do stable photography. It has a little trigger on it. You can fire it. Definitely a cool thing to have. They go from like $100 to $200. There's a bunch of them.
How big is that thing? It looks huge, but it's probably just
it's
the.
Really not. I mean, if you see the size of the phone, the base, the handle's about the size of a phone. It collapses actually into a small box.
Okay.
And you can bring it everywhere. The hardest thing is if you have a case on your phone, you have to take your case off each time and connect it to the camera, connect it to the device rather.
I just like that Best Buy has to note down below that the iPhone is sold separately. I can imagine.
Yeah. I usually get these types of things right from the manufacturer, right from DJI. They are battery operated. It's mechanical. Things can go wrong with them. So if you can get extended warranty through them, but whatever you do, just make sure you get a warranty on it. They do fail, especially here in Florida, the Florida heat, batteries tend to fail.
And they probably get thrown around a little bit too.
Not my stuff, but yeah, the average person's going to chuck it in their bag or leave it in their car.
Right.
I take good care of my gear. I've had stuff for 10 years plus.
So Brian likes the phone lens.
And yeah, phones these days are really good, especially they come with, a variety of lenses on them, wide angle lenses. So,
He likes the pen for the phone lens. I mean, yeah. Yep.
oh yeah, definitely. All
Okay,
right.
so clean your lens. Use a destabilizer. So this really, my wife always says my videos are shaky. If I get this, she'll stop yelling at me for that. They work.
Pretty much. I mean, your phone has some stabilization built in, but this basically takes all of the shake out of it. Of course,
Okay.
you have to use, some techniques when you're shooting, but this helps a great deal.
Cool.
As far as software goes, I use on my phone and on my computer Adobe products. I use Adobe Lightroom. They have a free product for your phone
Okay.
that allows you to capture and then edit. And then also, if you are a member of Adobe, they have different tiers, different programs. It'll actually sync up to your library. They have storage. Adobe has great products. Pretty much everyone's just been copying them over the years.
I
So
can
would
see that.
recommend getting Lightroom on your phone.
I can see that being really useful to syncing because you don't have that extra step of uploading, right?
Yeah, especially if you
for
have a large
video.
library, if you're shooting a bunch of stuff, personal and business, it can get pretty confusing on your phone.
So it'll sync a video too, a video or photos.
Yeah, depending on what product you have.
Okay.
I think I pay like $600 a year for the full suite, and that includes like Adobe Premiere, Lightroom, Photoshop, and then the mobile app as well. But they have different tiers depending on what you want to use it for.
Yeah, I can see that because I've shot listings, uploading it to YouTube can take forever from your phone. You can't edit it. I can see this being really useful. It syncs over to your desktop. You get there, you do the editing, and then you zip it up.
Exactly. And also just right from your phone, if you want to go to social media, you can connect your accounts and play with all the filters and then upload them right from there as well.
A question from Charlotte: is that similar to a gimbal? I think that's the
yeah, it is. It is a stabilizer. It's a gimbal, correct. And there's a bunch of manufacturers. I usually just go with the ones that are tried and true. DJI is a leader, so I go with them.
Cool. Paul says you get the camera as well as 1 year subscription to generate 3D tours. Is that he might be asking about Matterport?
Yeah, so we're gonna get to Matterport. With camera hardware, it's pretty much like anything else. The entry fee is usually $1,000 to $1,500 to get the gear to start.
Yeah, good question. How do you store your photos and videos? You might have just kind of answered that to your hard drive, right? Or
yeah, I have several hard drives that I've used over the years. Amazon has a cloud as well, and I think Adobe's offering cloud services. It's probably good to have a copy locally, and then stuff you really care about put in the cloud. I have lost thousands of images over the years. Hard drives definitely do fail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Google. I mean, Google Drive's kind of a good, affordable way to go too.
Exactly. I've had stuff on there forever.
Yep. Cool.
It's just when you get into high res stuff, you're going to need more storage. So.
Yeah, like Josh can't. Josh's computer's so old, he can only put like one listing photo on, and then he has to upload it, and then he has to delete it, and then put another one on.
Yeah, my computer's. I'm working on the Windows 7 Pro here. I need to do the upgrade, but it's a fast machine. So, if you're gonna shoot, whether it's with your phone or with a digital SLR, and you don't want to process, there are companies out there that do processing. There's PhotoUp. And my favorite at the moment is Box Brownie, which, depending on your MLS, you might even have a link for these guys in your MLS.
Okay.
Basically, they'll take your images and turn them into a finished product. And they use.
I was not aware of that.
They use all sorts of wizardry. I'm sure you've seen these before. The dusk or the daylight to dusk photos.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So for a couple bucks an image on the regular stuff, and then their specialty stuff is, dusk is $4. If you want virtual staging, $24 and up. Pretty cool service.
Okay, so if you're not hiring a professional, zip your DIY photos up here. Spend what, maybe $50 for the listing.
Correct.
Okay.
And they'll even do floor plans. I mean, they have a full range of services. I usually use them for the exposure bracketing just to get a really nice shot. I do most of my processing myself, but sometimes it's definitely a time saver to have them knock out the interiors.
Okay.
And they
The
do
the
it.
virtual staging, I saw you post one of those on your Facebook a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Was that these guys?
No,
Okay.
that was someone in like Microsoft Word
It was a joke.
1998 or something. Yeah, it was.
I should bring that up if I can, but
That was a Fizbo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So this does a better job. It puts like actual real looking furniture on in the.
Yeah, and again, it depends on what product you deliver to them, to start with, but they can make anything look good, really.
Very cool. All right. I'm just looking at the comments here. We'll get to everybody in a second. I'm just gonna at the appropriate section. What else you got for me? For us?
So you were talking about Matterport.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not logged in. Let me log in real quick.
Sure. And I think Paul was talking about, you're going to dig in, but let us know, like, how do you get started with Matterport? If you wanted to do it yourself?
So here's my latest listing.
Okay.
This is a little Florida condo. Again, since we're in Florida, we have an international audience. You want to be able to get this to as many people as you can. And also spaces like Redfin and Zillow actually reward you for having.
They do.
Yeah, okay. For having 360 tours. So when you shoot the tour, it gives you a floor plan.
Automatically?
Yeah, basic floor plan like that. And then you can also actually have them render a full floor plan for you with all the titles.
So once you walk through the property, it's smart enough to know how to create that top-down view?
Yeah, it creates that top-down view, just like that. And then it also creates a dollhouse, which is kind of cool, but okay. I don't know how useful it is really. It's a little confusing to me, makes some people dizzy. But yeah, you can basically walk through the entire space.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Matterport's, we're getting a little lag because I think the Matterport's just chunking your computer a little bit.
All right, okay. So we'll move on to that. So it used to be you had to buy the Matterport camera, but then right around 2019, we all know what happened then. Matterport developed the software for the iPhone so that you could use a 360 camera. These cameras, the entry price for these is a lot less than the Matterport camera. I use this one here, the Ricoh Theta Z.
Yeah, this is Paul was talking about a Theta SC2, similar.
Yeah, that was, I don't know if they still support that one, but they might. But the Theta Z is the one that has the highest resolution and the highest dynamic range right now. I use this one. It's about $1,000. And that'll get you going. It's nice compared to the larger cameras. I mean, the larger camera, again, is harder to move around and maneuver in spaces. This, you can put on a little tiny monopod and get in and out of a job. I shot that project for you. It took me about 45 minutes in total. And the nice part is they do all the processing and give you back your finished product in about 2 or 3 hours.
So we've come a long way since the flip cameras that I used to use in 2009. Huh? But these are reminding me of those because they kind of are the same size.
I've been doing this so long. I used to shoot film, process it to photos, and we would scan it and put it in the MLS.
Off of flip? Oh, off of film.
Off a regular film camera, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, working for Century 21 Rand in Rockland County back in 1996, somewhere around there.
Well. So how long did that take per listing? It was like a whole day.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was like 48-hour turnaround was like magical. I mean, we'd take them to a 1-hour photo, but then they still had to get scanned.
Right. Cool. So they have these cameras on their site.
This again, buy them directly from Ricoh. You can buy them from B&H Photo. You can buy them on Amazon. Again, since it has a battery, I usually get a warranty on them. Batteries do fail. The lenses, there's 2 lenses on this. They're huge. They can easily get scratched. So you just want to take care with these types of products.
Cool.
On the software side, so if we're going to get into film, now we'll get into some more advanced stuff. So video, there's a product called Filmic Pro. This is for video. This allows you to turn your camera into a movie camera. It has more features than you would ever use. It's probably a bit complex compared to your regular cell phone video app, which is fine in most cases. But if you want to take a little bit more control, if you want to lock down exposure, focus, and things like that, Filmic Pro is great. They have a companion app for photography. It's called Filmic First Light. Again, just
Okay.
gives you a little bit more control over your camera.
What's
Very
that
cool
app
stuff.
cost? The
It's
Pro.
like $9. I think if you want to get the whole suite, it's like $39 for the month. They have trials on all of these, so you can play
Yeah.
with them for a week or so and decide if it works for you. In most cases, your camera app's going to be good, but for those who want a little bit more control, you can use something like this.
Yeah. So when you wonder why you're paying why you're paying somebody 150, $200 for photos on your listing, this is why. There's they've got tools, they've got time they have to spend.
Yeah, it's travel, it's shooting, it's processing, and then it's also, the experience. You're paying them for their experience more than anything else.
Right. To be able to take the right shot.
Yeah. A pro does it, the right way every time. The amateur gets lucky once in a while and thinks they're a pro.
Yeah, the photos you took on my listing were so much better than the iPhone photos my wife took. And I thought hers were fine until I saw yours. Or made hers look bad, basically.
Yeah. It's an Instagram world, people.
Yeah.
So if you want
So are you one of those guys? You're one of those guys on the beach here at sundown, right? Like taking pictures of yourself for Instagram?
Yeah, we try to get out there as often as possible.
Okay. Just checking. It cracks me up. I can't believe
I used to bring my camera.
We didn't do that.
Yeah, I used to bring my big camera. Now I bring my phone everywhere. After a while, I get tired of lugging around gear, so it's just my phone. So I'm trying to maximize the quality I can get out of my phone these days, and pass that information on to other folks. If you wanted to get into aerial photography, you do need a license, the Part 107. But
how hard is that to get?
It's not that difficult. It's basically the airman's test, and there's a ton of resources online, especially on YouTube, that'll basically guide you through the entire class and help you pass the test.
Now that's a recent thing, right? You used to be you could just take drone photography, and then they started requiring.
Yeah, once they decided it was commercial and there was liability, and there was a tremendous amount of hype, if you remember 5 years ago, 6 years ago, about drones taking down airplanes and things like that. It was mostly hype, but they had to lock it down. There was a few crazy people out there that were sending their drones all over Tampa. I used to fly in helicopters, 500 feet over people's houses, and no one complained. But drones, another story. So yeah, DJI is again the leader in this. There's the Mavic. Again, entry cost is somewhere around $1,500.
Cool. My internet dropped briefly, so sorry, I might have missed that last part.
I missed you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I can go deeper into any of these subjects.
Yeah.
Anytime you want. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me by email. Here's my website. I work in the same office as Ryan. A couple of my listings are up there. And my contact.
Yeah, if you have questions, and feel free to shoot Andre referrals here in sunny St. Pete, Florida. So let's look at some of the comments here. Let me just try. We got Paul's about storing. Are there different price points for a Matterport? From David.
So Matterport is a subscription service. I think their lowest subscription price per month to hold your images, your meshes, I think they call them. I pay, I think, $65 for 25 of them, and those prices are probably going up, but they'll hold up to 25 Matterport scenes for you. And then you just archive the ones when you're no longer using them, and you can add more. But I think their pricing is going to go up like everything else these days.
Yeah. Bill's saying digital floor plans get 35% more views. I mean, that makes sense. It's just something more engaging that most listings don't have, right?
Yeah, and from the Matterport, you can actually get measurements, and they'll turn around a floor plan for you, I think, in 24 hours, and it's around $30 or $40.
Yeah. So Chris, this might have been before Andre went into it, but yeah, special equipment and all that is needed. So Andre, if you say you become the Matterport expert in your office, right? Could you have a little side hustle doing that for other agents?
Definitely.
Or yeah, does it make sense economically to do?
I think so. I mean, it depends, like everything else, it's you're trading time for money. So you got to figure travel and time on site to shoot. But other than that, I mean, they do all the processing for you. So your cost is really your time, the equipment, of course, which is a one-time expense. And then Matterport has those monthly fees. So what you do is you can bake into your pricing a monthly fee for as long as the listing is going to be live. You can charge, the client that monthly fee, whatever you want that to be.
Yeah. And I imagine, the last few years listings have sold in a day, right? Or whatever in a lot of markets.
Yeah.
But I imagine if the market shifts a little bit and listings aren't selling overnight, this becomes more of a need for agents who want to be competitive to get the listing and to get it sold. So
yeah, definitely. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jordan Cohen. He's the best realtor in the world. I don't know, something like that. Remax. He's the highest grossing realtor with Remax. He just came out with a book, and he talks about how photography is the backbone of everything he's done for his whole career.
Okay, Jordan who? I should know.
Jordan Cohen.
Okay, Jordan Cohen. Cool.
He just released a book this month, and it has all of his listing secrets, which, like anything else, it's the tried and true things, postcards and follow up and contact. But he bases everything on his marketing, and his marketing is all based on high quality photography and video.
Cool. So I think this is the one you're talking about, right?
I can't see your screen right now. Let me see here.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I'm pretty sure. The Agent's Edge, Secret Strategies.
The Agent's Edge, yeah. I got that on audio and listened to it while I was going on a listing appointment far, far away. Really good stuff.
Yeah. So David's asking, what is the price can be charged if you have your own Matterport and want a side hustle?
I was doing some stuff here in Tampa for a few clients back in 2019, 2020, anywhere from 175 to 250, depending on the square footage. A lot of Matterport services break it down by square footage. They'll give you basically, 2,000 square feet, and then anything above that, it's like $10 per 100 square feet. So really just price it in a way that makes sense for you, and keep in mind those recurring fees with storage.
Is what's your hourly wage kind of break out to? Is it 30, 40 an hour, 50?
Yeah, it's like probably $50 an hour. I mean, if you can stay local, work with local agents. Travel is definitely a huge expense. So if you can stay local and then just, do things in an efficient way, that's a good way to do it. Again, you're trading time for money. For me, I don't really shoot that much anymore. I have a few clients, and it keeps me focused and keeps me loose and still in the game. But, I'm a full-time real estate agent. So shooting and processing and all that takes up a lot of time, especially if you're on deadline, you have other things going on. I've been on site and I've been negotiating contracts and shooting Matterports. Not always a fun day.
Yeah. I had a good question and now I'm forgetting it. This happens. Let me see. So, the question was, if once you get a client, I assume it's kind of recurring. Talking about the business side of this. So if you get an agent who likes you, then it becomes kind of like a recurring revenue stream.
Correct.
Yeah. So if you can build up 10 really good listing agent clients, you can have a business probably, I imagine.
Yeah, and that's really it. I started working down here with one of the larger real estate companies. They fed me a ton of business. Of course, I was willing to drive all over the place and do things, for a reduced fee based on volume. But yeah, I probably had 20 clients that really floated me over 4 or 5 years. And then you get the onesie twosie shoots once in a while. But really, yeah, it's those rainmakers that are going to appreciate you, showing up on time, doing what you say you're going to do, and delivering an excellent product. That's going to go a long way.
And then have you ever tried offering a free shoot to FSBOs?
I haven't really pursued it a whole lot here in Florida. FSBOs are under a lot of pressure from real estate agents, so it's not really my bag. But yeah, that's a good idea.
It's a good foot in the door, kind of.
Yeah, for sure. Quality photography. I tried that briefly, and I just moved in another direction. But yeah, that's definitely, if you have a good FSBO pool in your area and want to give that a shot, some of them would be receptive to it. Some of them already know about that angle as well, so they'll hire a professional photographer.
Yeah. But I imagine as things get a little more competitive and it's not as easy to just sell your house by throwing it up on the internet somewhere, that could be an offer that FSBOs respond to. Yeah. And I also wonder, if we do see a shift in the market, if what you're doing could be an interesting offer to asset managers to start to get REO business. So, it used to be you would sign up for these. Did you ever do this? You'd sign up to do the BPOs and all that stuff.
I did. I did all that up north. Yeah. During the craze.
Yeah. So I wonder, like, if, you know, you're basically trying to sell the asset manager on working with you, you know, is there a way to offer them and say, hey, on all your listings, I will throw in, you know, professional photography.
Yeah. Photography, video, any kind of documentation, you know, it's documentation plus. If you can just get in there and shoot it and then shoot it well, you're going to go and help yourself a long way.
So overall, you know, I don't want to go too long today. Overall, this is a skill worth knowing if you're a real estate marketer.
For sure. And it's so much easier now. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this 20 years. It used to be you had to have a really expensive camera and know how to use it. And now there's just so much technology. Phones have gotten better. The software has gotten better. So the entry point has come down quite a bit.
Are there any designations?
I'm a Zillow certified photographer. I don't know that means a whole lot. It's really like anything else. You just got to spend some time with it and do it. Really, the way I learned photography, I'm pretty much self-taught. Of course, I took classes and I worked in labs over the years, but you really just have to do it like anything else.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting designation, though.
If
somebody offered a real course about it, and you could go get the designation, because in a listing appointment, it would probably be worth something.
I think so. I think it's just hard for people to appreciate all that goes into making a really high quality photograph. We're bombarded by images all the time, and it just looks, you know, like I said, people get lucky once in a while with a nice sunset shot. They think they're Ansel Adams, but there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. There's no licensing needed per se in order to, other than the FAA stuff, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So you can just, kind of say you're a photographer right away. And it is interesting. I could see building a business like this, especially for somebody young getting into the business. You don't have anything going on. You're a totally new agent. Maybe you're a little more inclined to use some of the newer technology. Why not dig in here, right?
Yeah. Well, it's how I became a real estate agent. I worked in and around it for 20 years. And then when I was moved down here, I started that company, and pretty quickly decided I was on the wrong side of the equation when agents were telling me that my photography sold their house in 2 days.
Yeah. Do you think, have you ever had lenders co-fund photography?
No, that's probably another good angle though.
Yeah.
It's hard to get lenders apart with their money these days, but yeah, that's a good angle.
Yeah. An interesting way to build value. Of course, we're always thinking about that around here. That's interesting. Yeah. Cause then you could also brand like a Matterport. I know you have to stay away from branding that lands in the MLS. But
right. Matterport does have, Matterport has the unbranded, the MLS compliant, and then they also have a full branded version link. So all three of those links are available to you.
So as a mortgage pro, could I pay for a Matterport and then have a call to action around getting pre-approved for a mortgage on this property embedded in the Matterport?
Yeah, you can. And then Matterport, you can also embed in web pages, blogs, things like that.
So guys, if you want to help get your Matterports paid for, go to your lender. Not me and Josh, we're too cheap. No, just kidding. Yeah, go to your lender. Say, hey, if you're willing to, co-fund my Matterport. There's probably some RESPA stuff in there and contracts and stuff, but if you're willing to co-fund, we'll put a call to action in the Matterport. And if it's the right listing, I imagine those Matterports can really get high view counts. You probably know, like, what do you see if something goes on Zillow and takes off?
Yeah, I usually get hundreds of views on Matterports within the first, couple of weeks.
Okay.
Especially, like I said, Redfin promotes them. I think Zillow still promotes them to some degree. But if you have a Matterport, it's definitely going to boost your views on your listings.
So you can put a branded Matterport on Zillow with a call to action in it? You can't?
No.
Okay.
But if you had, a single property website or something like that, or a blog post,
okay,
you could do it
or
that way.
If you're running your own Facebook ad, of course you can embed it.
Right.
Why can't you do that on Zillow? They're not, because they're taking the feed from your MLS?
Correct. Yeah. So I guess if
Could
you
you override it?
Edit it, you could do it. You can have, if you're the photographer, you can have your logo in it.
Right.
But agents aren't allowed to have any contact info.
Okay, so you can't go into Zillow and override the Matterport that they pulled up from the IDX. Basically.
Yeah, that I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I know they used to let you change out the videos. That was years ago.
They were big on video a while back. Yeah, and then they stopped.
Yeah, because nobody do it. I'm sure nobody was doing it. Yeah. All right. We're about 35 minutes in. I think we're going to call it a day. But Andre, thank you. This was like, I learned some new stuff.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah. So guys, reach out to Andre. It's greaterstpeteagent.com if you have any questions about photography. If you have referrals for, the West Coast of Florida here, Andre, I give him all my stuff because I'm too busy, right, Andre? So I trust him with my local leads. So if you have somebody who's looking for a vacation home down here, just to make this worth Andre's while, we'll do a little plug for him at the end. Whatever you do, don't go to vqualifier.com. We are too busy with people booking for that. If you do go there and you try to book, you might see that we're a couple of weeks out now. Sorry about that, but don't go there. And that's it. Thanks, Andre.
Thank you. Take care,
folks. I think he froze. Your max headroom on. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next. We'll see you next week. And the Zillow app sucks. We'll leave with that. I would agree to some extent.